Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the... Oh, look at the deer tracks. Do. Either the ground is soft, we got some monsters running around up here. Would you guys believe me if I said it was just a little bit of both? So this is the field that got the urea on it. The reason I wanted to show you guys this quick, I was just driving by and I figured, what the heck. I don't know how often this gets shown on, YouTube world. But I'm trying to watch where I walk here, because step in the wrong spot, I might sink and not get back out. This is the last field of corn that we planted. It's mine, and it was broadcasted with urea, and it's actually coming out of it at this point. It's been spread over a week ago, and the big thing about it is you get the burning on the leaves. It doesn't look that great. I don't really do this too much. This is maybe the 4th or 5th time we've done this, and the first time we did it, full metal panic. We were worried that we did some serious damage to the plants, and actually the neighbors were asking us what we did, what happened to the field, because it looked like we ruined our crop. And luckily, which that's why we went ahead and did it, the yields that year were actually pretty freaking impressive. But the thing is, you're still broadcasting the fertilizer, and I am definitely all for, if you're paying for high price inputs, I would rather make sure they're going down right next to the roots. And I don't know if I made it very clear with this field, but the way I planted it, the way I had to plant it, because it wasn't just planting into a single crop, I had 2 separate varieties that were put on this farm, and each variety was really meant for going into corn on corn, and I had another variety that was really set to flourish on corn on beans. So here we got some volunteer corn coming up. Really not that big of a deal. Not as much as I've actually found as far as the volunteer growth. I'm really not all that worried about it. Now, I'm not really looking too far forward. Oh, jeez. Dude! Calvin just made my heart skip. Hey, dude. Yeah. Going into next year, I'm kind of looking forward to, as far as what my rotations are going to be, because with inputs and prices and everything, you gotta constantly be monitoring what all that stuff is doing. I got that 1,000-gallon tank for diesel fuel up at home, and it is going to be getting filled if the oil prices keep dropping here, because I was kind of the impression it was going to keep climbing. But that might look that bad, but it's actually starting to come out of it. You can already see the regrowth, the new growth, the new leaves are coming out. We'll just use this one as an example. So we had this leaf, got burnt, but then you look at the leaves. Actually, that leaf got burnt, so the leaves above that one are coming out where you're not hurting anything. The biggest issue with broadcasting urea is if you get it down in the whorl, and that can actually sting you a little bit. It's one of those things where I wanted to be as efficient as possible, and the way I planted this farm, because I had 2 separate hybrids, had to go on specific parts of the field. How I planted this place wasn't exactly how I would have normally planted it. It's not how I'll plan it going forward, but trying to go through and either cultivate and Y drop, I was just really concerned I was going to do more damage than good. And it seems how prices and everything are where they're at. Look at me for a little bit. I am just trying to be more on the cautious side of things, because I've said it to you before. For those of you that watch the channel, have been watching the channel, is that's one of the reasons, the many reasons why planting is so stressful, is because, well, as I was saying, it does get stressful when you're planting all the way back in the early spring, because there's a lot of variables that are going to affect your year. And the last thing you want to do is, when you're looking at $7 corn, is potentially looking at doing or having a mishap or having an issue even while you're planting, or actively while you're planting, and that could cost you a fair amount of dollars per acre really quick, especially if you start looking at, you know, a 5 or a 10 bushel the acre loss, and you're looking at $7 corn. So rain wise, we're sitting pretty good. I think that wind is actually going to be pushing in some more rain here. I think we're sitting pretty good. The fields are plenty soft, as you can tell, and with the moisture we got in the ground, with the way the crops are looking, we're about 10 days away from tassel, give or take. This stuff is, well, not quite eye level with me, but I don't know, chest level for sure. So I didn't get to go through and cultivate it. I'm glad I didn't, because the problem I had with cultivating, the cultivator's put away, by the way. In previous years, this is the first year since I've started cultivating that I didn't get a chance to really do it, because either the weather issues or the fact I should have been making hay. You know, goes back to what Grandpa used to say. And in previous years, I used to be able to do, I was able to do like 200 plus acres pretty comfortably. This year, I did 30, and I was scratching to even get that done, because I was trying to make hay while also have time to go side dress. And then the problem is I couldn't just leave the 40-20 hooked up, because we were also wanting to use the 40-20 for making hay. So I was also hooking and unhooking that cultivator, what, 5 or 6 times. And it's not terrible to unhook, but it can definitely be a pain when you go to unhook it. Hooking it up is easy. Unhooking it is a real challenge, and I don't understand that, but it's just the way it is, I guess. It wants to be a challenge. And I haven't really looked too much as far as, okay, that's a lie. I have looked at what my rotations are going to be for next year, and trying to protect some of the price moves that are going on currently. And that does affect like my input purchases for next year right now already. And I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't looking that far ahead, but I'm trying to stay ahead of it at least the best we can. I mean, I'm not a fan of soybeans, but the problem is my rotation says I should have more soybeans than I did this year, but the problem is I'd rather raise corn, because at least the yield on corn is a little bit more dependable, reliable at this point, than putting soybeans in the ground. The soybeans in this, not even just this immediate area, just seems like soybeans in general this year are just struggling. If they went in the ground too early, too cold, too wet, I'm not sure. I'm not just talking about our stuff. Our beans at home actually look beautiful, but I was showing some pictures the other day, and they aren't really sure what the issue was. And they look good if you're at eye level with them, looking across the field, but if you're looking down from a drone at them, they look tough. And I'm very grateful that our corn also looks really good. I mean, this is the last field that I planted, and for being what, the 8th of July, 7th of July, I'm sitting pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. So grateful for that. But I gotta head out. So thanks for watching, guys. All right, I'm not gonna make this very long. I don't want to hijack the video I just made, but I had people ask. I know I've made it clear, but I know I have viewers that are just tuning in and they aren't up to date to everything that I do. So I just want to clarify why I go through and I put 4 wraps of net wrap on my bales, on the stuff that's going to be moved, sold, handled multiple times, potentially going to sit outside. See, those right there are the reasons why I wrap it so many times, because when you go through and only wrap it twice, which is what we used to do growing up, you're pretty much just holding the bale together. All right. You can't move the bale too many times before the net wrap starts getting kind of gross. Let's see here. It gets tore up. I don't have any that are because of wrapping them. When you wrap them 4 times, I handle these bales so many times from the time they fall out of the back of the bale or baler to the time that they are unloaded off the farm. And you do get discounted if your bales are all tore up or your net wrap is all tore up when you go to sell this stuff. This is a business. I'm not just making feed for myself. If I was making feed for myself, I'd be doing it a little bit cheaper. But when I'm trying to make a product that is going to retain its value, retain its quality, and actually be worth something, you got to actually spend money to make money. And as you can see right here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps. The point of doing 4 wraps is it helps the bale be able to be handled as many times, like I've said. Also, when you go through and you wrap them this many times, it helps shield this bale from large amounts of rain or any amount of rain when it has to sit outside, because I do not have enough storage to put the stuff inside. So what I wanted to show you was right here. I don't have to really dig in that far. That's green. That's healthy. That's awesome. So that right there is why I'm spending the big dollars putting on twice as much net wrap as maybe I have to. I'm not picking on Tyson. I don't know if he's even commented here, where he said that when he started doing the net wrap, what did he get his net wrap? His 560M. Was that last year or the year before? They were only putting on, what, a wrap and a half, which is fine. They're dropping them and they're hauling them in, and then that's it. They only handle them, what, twice? Loading onto the trailer and then setting them in their stack until they're being shredded and fed to their cows. This is what helps protect that outer layer of these bales, because if you leave them sit outside for forever and ever and ever, like especially growing up, you can lose the top 6 to 8 inches of your bale pretty easy, because rain gets on it and it soaks in and it just makes a mess. So that's 3.5 minutes. It's longer than I wanted, but I just wanted to, I'm down here and I just wanted to clarify that, because the stuff's gotten rained on. We've had 1.5 inches. No, I'm a liar. We got 1.5 inches of rain at home, not including the rain we got today. They got 2.5 inches down here, not including what we got last night, today, because it just quit raining. But this, as the current owner of these bales, makes me really happy to see. So it doesn't affect the value of these bales as far as I'm concerned at all. The stuff that's stored in shed, I'm going to expect a little bit more per ton from it, but it's not going to be a requirement, because I'm actually, for what I'm getting for the stuff that's still sitting outside, it's worth the management that I'm putting into it. I'll just go ahead and say that. So, all right, I gotta go. I'll work in the shed now, actually, so talk to you guys later. And another thing, all the stuff that I have stored inside is, green right out to the net wrap. But my actual comment for all this stuff is I wish you guys could smell it. It smells awesome. Say there's nothing like the smell of nice, dry fresh green hay, grass, but it's hay. So it's, yeah, the hay down here, first cut was an outstanding win. The regrowth is coming back really nice. That's actually, I got down in the bottom, it's already a foot tall. So I got the radiate, I got the chemicals. I might actually have to say to heck with it and come down and spray tomorrow. Might have to drive a little slower, need be, whatever I got to do. But I don't want to risk running everything up. But it's already, we're going in the second week of July, and for spraying for bugs and spraying for, you know, the regrowth, I want to get it done sooner than later. All right, that's it.